Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to the 2026 European Open Classic Powerlifting Championships live from St. Julian's, Malta.
Powerlifting is a sport composed by three main disciplines called lifts. They are, in order, squat, the bench press, and the deadlift. Each athlete has 3 attempts with 1 minute per attempt to start the lift. There are 3 referees and each of them give a white light in case of a good lift and a red light in case of a no lift.
The athletes are separated per weight, age, and sex category. The sum of each of the best attempts per lift builds the total, and the athlete with the bigger total is the winner. In case of a draw, the lighter lifter wins.
The squat is the first movement of the competition. On that lift, the use of the legs and the back is extremely important. Once the athlete stands erect with his knees locked and the bar on his back, the central referee gives the squat command. The lifter then bends his knees and lowers his body until the top surface of the legs at the hip joint are lower than the top surface of his knees. He then comes back up, locking his knees and hips in order to complete the lift. The central referee will then give the rack command and the athlete has to put the bar on the squat rack. There are 3 main mistakes to avoid in order to not have a no lift on the squat. First, if the athlete isn't standing erect with his knees locked at the beginning and at the end of the squat event. Second, if the proper competition depth isn't reached at the bottom of the movement. Third, if the athlete doesn't complete the lift with a single upward movement, meaning if the bar goes down during the ascent of the movement.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the 84s and the 120s to take the platform. My name is Alexandre Naudin and I'm here joined by Emilia Potter.
Good afternoon. We are in for quite a treat this afternoon with the 84s and the 120s.
2 groups of 8 lifters battling it out for the title of European champion. Starting off with the 84s, we have a troublemaker from the B group, Hieronymus, the German, totaling 565 in the morning. Does that changes a lot of things according to you?
Well, it is a big total she managed to post there with 565, and I believe that is higher than nominated second place overall as well.
Absolutely, it's just 5 kg shy of the number 1 nominated total of Kristin Thorsdottir from Iceland. We're gonna have a stacked class of 84s, openers ranging from 177.5 to 205 for none other than Kristin Thorsdottir. First athlete out representing that mark will be Katja Jorgensen. She's opening at 177.5. The biggest squat of this morning's session was 205, of course, belonging to Hieronymus. She did something extra solid in the morning. Troublemaker is the nickname she deserves.
With a personal best of 192.5, hopefully a fairly conservative, comfortable opener for Jorgensen. A little slow in that middle portion, but a strong opener nonetheless. What do you think of that?
Yeah, 3 white lights is on the board, but for sure that's on the slower hand for an opener.
Certainly could be the case that she's just a slower squatter, but a conversation will have to be had now with the coaches. So where's a good place to go from here?
Next up is Alison O'Reilly from Ireland, opening with 182.5. Nominated squat 200. We're gonna have at least 6 of our athletes in the 200s by the end of the squat.
Nominations, she was in joint total with Agnes Rudin, fighting for that podium position overall. But of course, with that, as you said, troublemaker from the B group, that's going to be a harder fight now.
And we also have the Ukrainian Lyudmila Bishok coming in strong, some high openers being posted. We'll talk about that later on. For now, it is the first squat of Alison. Nice and smooth. And with that first squat, she's on the board. We can see the difference in between that squat and Katia's squat. This one looked way more convincing.
And that's about how you'd want an opening attempt to move. You have place to go for a second and then there a third attempt.
Now into the other Danish shot, the flight Regitze Letting, opening with 185. PB squat of 193. Reasonably one jump away if this one moves well.
It moves pretty well to me. Do you think a 10-kilo jump there is justified?
I'd say at least 7.5, 10 if they want to be aggressive with it. I think she has it in the tank, but then the question would be, where do you go for your third? Bars now loaded for Kristina Rakowska, Czechia, 190. Nominated 8th, but only 14 kilos in between 8th and 3rd on nominations.
It's a tight race. Very quick opener there for Rakowska.
3 white lights. Already halfway done with the openers. Next up is Emilie Mouchet from France. New to the open stage. Opening at 195.
Yeah, nominations, she's posted second with a total of 555. Be interesting to see where she lands today.
She's not new to the international platform. She's the reigning junior world champ, but now 24 years old. It's a steep step moving into the opens. Nice and solid opener. 2-to-1 run red from the front. Massive squat, massive quads getting in the way of judging proper depth maybe.
Yeah, just getting that depth call from the centre referee. We can see here from the sides who gave her a white that she looks well within the bounds of depth being okay. Jury does on one side say she doesn't want to go any lower though, so I'd keep an eye out for it.
Already touching the bar is Agnes Rudin, Sweden, 197.5.
Agnes was a big name in the junior circuit a few years ago. Now 26 years old, has been in the open for a few years now.
That's one bouncy opener. 3 white lights. She's nominated 3rd with 540. Had she improved, she could be a real threat for vice champion. Next up, Lyudmila Bishok, Ukraine, opening with 200 kilos. For someone nominated with 205, 200 is a very solid opener.
Yeah, especially with 16 years of competitive experience. So these are by no means newbie gains. She has worked for every kilo she's about to get.
She's gonna be on board with that squat. 3 white lights. Do you think that was a proper opener or maybe too much of an aggressive call?
Let's have a look at it again in the replay. Some nations do like to open a little bit closer to that top end and push it from there, so perhaps that is the case. I think a lot will be told by the jump they choose to go on their second.
And the final opener for the favorite of the day, Kristin Thorisdottir, Iceland, 2:05. Again, the favorite stand their ground and establish dominance with that opener.
Thorisdottir now a Masters 1, but still very strongly leading the pack.
Yeah, that moves well for Kristin. 3 white lights and every member of the A group is on the board. And after this first round of squat, only one of the medal position belongs to an A group member, Thorisdottir, in provisional squat bronze. We'll see how these rankings are going to get shaken up with the second round of squats starting in just a few seconds with Katja Jorgensen, 187.5. It's a jump of 10 for the representative of Denmark.
A little more aggressive than I expected based off of her opener, but this is what we're talking about, perhaps just a slightly slower squatter in her style. And it seems to be potentially the case there.
And maybe the first squat nerves have gone away. 3 white lights, 2 for 2 so far. She has a PB at 192.5. Do you think matching it is a sensible choice?
Yeah, I think a 5 kilo jump is probably the top end I would feel comfortable with myself, but I also don't think I would have put 10 kilos until the first, so
Fair enough.
hard to say from the outside.
Back-to-back Danish lifters on the platform. Regitze Letting, 195, jump of 10. This one's a personal best of 2. Still looking extra comfortable under that bar. 2-1, a good lift, 1 red from the front for lack of depth.
And as we said before, usually, and I say that somewhat hesitantly, when you get whites from the side referees, your depth isn't usually touched by the jury, and it looks okay there in the replay to me.
And already walking up to the platform is Alison O'Reilly, Ireland, 195, jump of 12.5.
Yeah, she'll be looking to do what she can to end up on that overall podium. Certainly a strong contender for the bench press gold as well.
Bit segmented, but she makes easy work of that 12.5 kg jump. 3 white lights. She squatted 202.5 in the past. I can only believe that she's going to go for at least 200.
Yeah, they'll have to walk the line very carefully to keep up with Rudin and keep their eye on the German lifter for this morning.
Kristina Rakowska, Czechia, jumping 10. That makes it 200, a matched PB in the making. Looks like she's nowhere near her top end yet. To the one, a good lift, one red from the side this time.
Yeah, a little bit more concerning seeing it from that angle, and in the replay we were able to see the view that that side referee had when they gave the red.
It's borderline, it could go anyway.
I think she should be fine with that, and it looks like the jury agree.
Emilie Mouchet, France, jump of 10, that makes it 205 for her second attempt. Provisional squat, silver. Controlled aggression for Emilie Mouchet. She stands up strong. That's going to be 3 white lights, no rest this time. She left no room for doubts.
Yeah, plenty to go into that third round, and like you said, certainly a contender, opposed to a lot of girls who have been competing on this circuit for many more years and coming out strong.
Agnes Rudin, Sweden, 210, jump of 12.5. From her opener straight to her personal best.
Wow.
And the jump was 100% justified. 3 white lights, lightning fast, provisional squat gold.
Yeah, that's incredible. And she was nominated with that number as her personal best. And it looks like she's on to add some good kilos on top of that for her third.
Lyudmila Bishok, Ukraine, jumping from 200 to 210, 5 kgs over our nominated and personal best squat. We might have more contenders than we originally thought.
Wow, and around about the same speed, not a little quicker than that opening attempt, Alex.
3 white lights, new personal best. And she's looking to hit another squat. She has room in the tank.
How much of an impact do you think seeing that total from the B group would have had on these girls heading forward, knowing there's a bar already set?
Oh, it applies pressure 100%. You know you cannot skip a beat. You're on from the first squat. Christian Thorsdottir, Iceland, 215, jump of 10. Once again, another lifter going from her opener to her personal best. The squat will close out the second round and will give a provisional squat gold. That looks smooth for a match PB. 3 white lights, provisional squat gold, and there you have it. All 3 squat medals now belong to A group members. Provisional bronze is Bishok, provisional silver is Rudin, provisional gold is Thorsdottir. We're gonna enter the third round of squat with Katja Jorgensen with 195 kilos, jump of 7.5. The 7.5 that leads to a personal best attempt of 2.5. Very important attempt for Katja.
Well, it's a huge fight, and she keeps it going, but just not long enough.
She made it a believable attempt, but 195 was too heavy on the day.
Yeah, and we thought the 10 kilo jump was overambitious, and it wasn't, but Another 7.5 on top of that already. Maybe emptied the tank a bit too much.
And now it looks like we could be having at least 7 athletes in the 200. Starting off with Brigitte Legg from Denmark, 200, jump of 5 for that same amount of a personal best. She's coming in strong. Was nominated with 193. You don't see any doubt in her eyes. However, lack of depth, but a white from the replay angle. A chance for the lift to get overruled.
Yeah, let's have a look at that. And you're right, that is a silver lining, that if it is going to get overruled, the side that we see did get a white light. And the jury are discussing it, but it seems they're in disagreement, which means it will remain.
It seemed like 2 of our 3 jury members wanted to overrule it to a good one, but they need to be unanimous to do so. We now move on to Alison O'Reilly, going for a PB of 202.5. To match her best squat to date, to position herself nicely in the battle of the 84s. Much needed squat for Alison. Can she stand up with it? She powers through. Impressive display of strength. 3 white lights for the Irish.
Wow, that is an amazing grind from O'Reilly. Let's have a look at that again on the replay. And every kilogram of that. And she came to a standstill at one point.
That's an RPE 10 if I've ever seen one. Kristina Rakowska, Czechia, 205, jump of 5 for that same amount of a personal best. To surpass O'Reilly for the time being. Waiting on the left-hand side, ref. Couldn't see anything wrong live with that squat, but a bit of suspense.
And 2 to 1, a good lift. Just getting a depth call from the replay angle here that you just saw. Jury seem happy enough to let it remain a good lift.
Next up, the very determined Émilie Mouchet from France, 210. Jumping 5 for a PB of 2. Looking as on top as ever, she'll need to be focused to hit depth and stand up with it. For the 4th biggest squat of the class. Want to position herself nicely in the battle of the 84s. Make it count, Émilie.
Big smiles there from Emily, and it is a good lift. 3 white lights. And look how pleased she is with that.
Getting a new personal best on the biggest stage in Europe. That must feel nice. Great execution from both the coach and the athletes. 3 more squats to go to determine the squat podium. This one's to go from 2nd to 1st. And Miss Ruden, Sweden, 217.5. Sizable personal best attempt of 7.5. How does one manage to improve her squat by 7.5 after 11 years of squatting?
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible, and I'd love to see her get this and put her name in the hat for that overall podium. And it looked like a second attempt, really, and puts herself in pole position for squat gold for the time being, at the very least. has secured silver.
And she's the lightest of the bunch, weighing in at 78.95. When Ludmila, who's up next, gonna be attempting that same weight, but is heavier, weighing in at 83.30. But still, another PB attempt, a 7.5. These ladies are on.
Wow, look at the fight on her. I don't think I saw the bar dip.
And she's receiving a blue, but I think it might be for soft lockout of that left knee. Do you see that on the replay, Amelia?
I think she should be fine with that. I think he might have looked for a downwards movement, but it just shook so much. Managed to do a really good job keeping it up.
Next up, one final attempt for the under 84, the favorite of the day, the Icelandic Kristin Thorsdottir, 225 World Masters 1 record. Masters 1 being the 40 to 49s. To shatter the record, this is 7 more kilos than the record. 225 PB of 10 and guaranteed squat gold in the 84s. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, 3 white lights, new World Masters 1 record, squat gold. Kristin Thorsdottir stands her ground. That closes out the squat events of the under 84s. The squat podium, bronze medalist from Ukraine, Bishok with 217.5. Same best attempt but lighter on bodyweight, Rudin gets squat silver. And with 225, Thorsdottir collects squat gold.
And we head straight through now to the battle of the 120s, and a huge range of openers here today from 175, which I believe must be due to some sort of injury, all the way to 335. We have Christoph Benz Budai from Hungary opening at 175, and with a personal best of 340, I think that must be the case here.
Yeah, I don't see any other reason. He was nominated with 332.5. Being careful with that attempt. Speedy on the way up, still doesn't seem comfortable. 3 white light, he'll be on the board. And hopefully he doesn't X out his attempts, because 7 minutes of rest is not a whole lot for those boys.
Well, we see 2 instances here. Lifters who take their opening attempt, then make a big jump, which is what it looks like he's doing, or people who X out their attempt. So I think he's just trying to get as much from squats as he can. Thomas Hautala from Finland, 280 kilos on the bar for his opening attempt. Nice controlled squat there from Hautala. And it is a good lift, 3 white lights, almost a cautious squat.
Super gentle.
We can see here coming up next one of our contenders for the overall title from France, Antoine de Roden, also affectionately known as Brutus, opening with 305 kilos.
New to the French Open team, outclassed Nicolas Perrault at French Nationals.
Yeah, and if you can't tell on the screen, he is a giant amongst men. And has the strength of one too. A lovely opener for the Roden.
Solid start to his day.
and he has a lot he wants to show. Finally his turn in that France singlet. We now have Jonah Weindijk from Germany. Was a strong contender as a junior in the 120s, now in the opens and still up here in the A group with a mean bench press on him, but opening with 312.5, certainly not a small attempt.
But that kind of moved like small weight for him. 3 white lights, nice and speedy.
Yeah,
Just what you would want out of an opener.
About 30 kilos away from his current personal best, so we'll see. Probably pace himself just a little above that, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm expecting a jump of 20, 22.
Here we have another one of the top contenders from Great Britain, Abdulmajid Suleiman, opening with 320 kilos. Very well-known athlete, many years on the international stage, opposed to the Rodin, who's very new to it.
But what's new for Abdulmajid is the weight class. Used to be a 105, now step it up in the 120s.
And that is a snappy looking opener for Suleiman. And a good lift, 3 white lights. And that is 2 of the 4 top contenders we've seen with nice quick openers.
Yeah, looks like Abdulmajid Suleiman is going to be able to reach new heights today.
And just off the podium in nominations, but not by very far, Victor Vasquez Carrillo from Spain, opening with 327.5.
Finished 3rd last year at Euros and wants to do better today.
Slowed down a little bit in the middle portion there, but it is a good lift and he's on the board. And he seems pretty happy with it, and that's what's most important. He knows his own lifting far better than we will.
I mean, it's already more than he squatted at World Games.
That was just in August, so hasn't been too long since then. Our penultimate opener now, Bo Sekhanovsky from Israel, 327.5, has a huge personal best of 350. Really tidy looking opener there for Sekhanovsky. And a good lift. Has in the past a couple of times struggled with depth issues, but that was a really good opening attempt. No issues there whatsoever. Really sunk it. And our final of the top contenders and our final opening attempt comes with Ukraine's Taras Melnichuk. Just a couple years out of the juniors here, opening at 335, just 12.5 kilos off his personal best.
Yeah, the youngest of the flight, but one of the most experienced one.
Yeah, and usually opens pretty heavy and then makes some slightly smaller jumps. So we'll see if that's the case here or if there's been some big progress and he's a bigger threat than France, GB and Spain is thought.
He looks strong, 3 white lights, and everyone has secured an attempt in the A group of the 120s.
And as we head into that second round, the gold and silver still being held on to two athletes from the B group and the bronze as well, but that is subject to change now as we head into the second and third round of the squats. Kicking us off, Christoph Benz Budai from Hungary, looking for option one that we spoke about here, taking a big jump to his second, and that is if he is choosing to come out, which I'm not sure if the case or not. The clock is running down, so I don't think it is, but it gives us a moment to have a look forward to some of the jumps that we've seen and the fight that we have coming in Team Ukraine versus France versus Great Britain versus Spain. It really is so hard to tell now where it's going to end up.
Yeah, it's a four-way battle. Everyone has to hit, but everyone seems to be in great shape based on these openers.
Yeah, and I think we are looking at a couple different strategies. I think Ukraine looking for some slightly smaller jumps, but looking ahead with a 350 for a second, I don't think that's small. Let's see if that will pan out.
That's not small. And by the end of the round, it's looking like Yusuf El Adlani from the B group will still hold on to a medal. With that 345 of his this morning.
The bar is loaded to 295 kilos for Tuomas Hautala from Finland. 15 kilo jump. Still a little way off his personal best of 327.5, so perhaps a similar story to Budai here, just having to go a little bit lighter. And 2-1, a good lift. Does get a yellow from the far side referee. Let's have a look at this here.
I think the left side ref wants to change her ruling. She wanted to press white, and she signaled it to the jury.
Okay, then in that case, he's not endangered, and it's a good lift. Antoine de Rodin, France, 322.5. 17.5 kilo jump, and very close to his personal best of 327.5 here.
A stickier second for Antoine Brutus le Robuste en chair et en muscle. 3 white lights. He said to me he wanted 3:30. Do you think that's a believable third by the looks of this one?
Yeah, I mean, in this weight class, 7.5 kilos isn't an enormous jump, so I can see them putting that on for him. He's got a bit of a hill to climb. You know, on nominations he was in first, but there's a few more names in the hat that we expected, and one of those being Jonah Weindiek from Germany. 332.5, a 20 kilo jump, and a long way to go, but currently on prognosis in third ahead of the Rodin.
Still looking real bouncy.
And it is a good lift, and he certainly is a threat when he's able to put together a good squat day. We know he has a very impressive bench press. His opener that he has in currently is 242.5 kilos. So if he can go 3 for 3 on squats and have a good bench day, he really is more than just a threat. 340 kilos for Victor Vasquez Carrillo from Spain. 12.5 kilo jump.
I know he has family members that made the trip from Spain to Malta in the crowd. That gives you extra kilos on the bar for sure.
Absolutely, and he's going to need it in this dogfight, especially with his opener looking a little bit slow. He's going to need all the support that he can to make this look impressive enough for a big third.
Should have won a good lift, but just like Antoine, a much steeper second already.
Yeah, and you can tell how much they're trying to push themselves to stay close to each other, but as a result, you know, we're bound to see people starting to push themselves a little too hard. We haven't yet, but let's hope that's not the case here. Abdul Majid Suleiman from Great Britain taking a 22.5 kilo jump to 342.5. Is a personal best of 360, and already this would be enough to take squat silver from the B group. Wow, and he did not slow down at all there. I can see another big jump there.
Yeah,
Suleiman.
in the past, he's never been that fast of a squatter. I think he's enjoying himself as a 120.
Our penultimate second attempt here, Taras Melnichuk, and with a personal best of 347.5, this is certainly a bigger jump than I expected to see to his second, jumping 15 kilos to 350. Let's see if this is the right number in the day for his second attempt. Wow, and makes pretty decent work of that 15 kilo jump. Just waiting for the lights there, and it's a good lift, 3 white lights.
I think this moved just like you would have anticipated for it to move more like a third than a second.
Yeah, and I would be extremely conservative with that final attempt if I were them. Just get the kilos they can in that big fight for the top. Bo Sekhanovsky from Israel, 350 kilos to match his personal best and move him into squat silver as he's slightly heavier than Melnichuk heading into the third and final round. And that is a good lift. 3 white lights, takes silver provisionally heading into the third round. Still looks like he's got kilos to add on to that squat.
Yeah, this was his previous personal best, but it doesn't look like top end, so it's going to be unknown territory from now on. He has to pick the right number though if he wants to collect squat gold.
Still holding on to squat bronze, Adani from Italy. In silver, Sekhanovsky from Israel, and Melnichuk currently sitting in gold for the squat. As we now head into the third and final round, Christoph Bentz-Badai, I don't imagine we'll see him again for the squats, but doing the sportsmanlike thing here, like you said before, it's a very quick flight for very strong men, and the recovery is already pretty short, so he's just giving that extra full minute and probably a longer amount of time than they would have got if somebody did go out and squat in any case.
And when I look at the range of third attempts, I can see the jumps we've anticipated. Tas only going for 5, but I don't think we anticipated the jump for Bauch. He's going for 365.
Yeah, and we look, like you said, at some of these jumps. Suleiman going for a 20 kilo jump, which I think honestly is justified based on how his second went.
He had the easiest second we've seen.
So it'll be interesting to see. I certainly think it's the right move for Melnichuk, but that's what we expected. Opening a little heavier and making a slightly smaller jump on that third.
That's on him on those stage for 10 years now. We kind of knew what to expect out of him.
Thomas Hautala from Finland taking a 10 kilo jump to 305 for his final attempt. We said he was quite a tempo gentle squatter on his opener, and I think that probably is reflective of perhaps nursing an injury coming into this, affecting the squat.
I mean, in all cases, he secures all 3 attempts, only got white lights, clean squat session from him.
Yeah, and you can even tell the way he re-racks the bar, he's somewhat tentative and careful, so I think that absolutely is the case. So well done on getting the most you could in this scenario, taking what you have on the day.
And hopefully it's not too impacted in the deadlift event.
Antoine de Rodin, France, 330 kilos, a 7.5 kilo jump, which I think we thought they would make. It's certainly the top end where we'd expect them to go, but very important kilos for de Rodin.
If he wants an opportunity, he needs to power through that.
Yeah, and there it is, a lovely third for Antoine, a bit better than I think he thought it would be too. 3 white lights, a good lift.
That's a new personal best of 2.5. He steps up, collects all 3 attempts. He's still in a position to play against Abdul-Majid and Taras.
Yeah, absolutely. It is going to be a big fight, and I don't think it'll just be the 3 of them in it. Victor Vasquez Carrillo from Spain, 345, 5 kilo jump. For the time being, this will move him into squat bronze with 4 lifters to follow. I think this slightly smaller jump was anticipated here. The second did begin to slow down considerably, but he's got a lot of heart and a lot of support here. No, just too much. I really do think he emptied the tank with that 340.
Yeah, he realized quickly that he was not going to get that. Made sure the spotters were aware and did not empty the tank, trying to fight it out. Relied on our great team of spotters. So no lift, but only loses out on 5 kilos.
Werner Weindiek from Germany, 347.5, looking to move into that squat bronze position for the time being, with Melnichuk to follow. This would be a 5 kilo personal best, and like I said, if he can go 3 for 3 on squat, he is a threat. Wow, and he is on form today.
We're yet to see him struggle. 3 white lights.
Taras Melnichuk now taking a 5 kilo jump to 355 for another personal best, but as we suspected, the second was near top end. They're just trying to push as far as they can from there now.
If he can make this happen, that'd be very impressive.
And that certainly was the right number. 2 to 1, a good lift. Melnichuk, a blue from the far side referee for soft knees. Let's see what the jury think of that. Certainly squeezed every kilo he could have out of that. It looks like it will stand, however, so he gains those extra 5 kilos. Abdul-Majid Suleiman from Great Britain. Mo coming out for 362.5, 20 kilo jump. This will be for a 2.5 kilo personal best, and I've got to say, the biggest, but also probably the most justified jump to the third.
100%. Very believable turf for Abdul-Majid. That 342 looked lightning fast.
Oh, and look at that. Still conserving energy moving forwards. A good lift. 3 white lights, and that moved him into squat gold for the time being, with Sekhanovsky to follow. But wow, that certainly shoots warning shots to France, to Ukraine.
Yeah, he was one of the favorite regardless, but he's in great shape.
Yeah, and a dangerous Mo is a healthy Mo. And our final squats of the 120 is looking to move some squat bronze, which is already secured, into squat gold. Bo Sekhanovsky from Israel, 365, a 15 kilo jump. That is a tremendous effort. And that is a good lift. 365 kilos on the board and squat gold secured. What a great end to squats there for the 120s. And the fight is certainly on. Melnichuk from Ukraine with squat bronze. Suleiman from Great Britain with squat silver. And Sekhanovsky from Israel sitting in squat gold.
Powerlifting is a strength sport that involves lifting the maximum weight possible in 3 different lifts. The 3 highest validated scores are added together to determine the total score. Competitors are divided into a series of weight classes, from the women's under 47 kilogram class to the men's over 120 kilogram category. The squat is a multi-joint movement engaging the quadriceps, glutes, hips and hamstrings. The upper body carries the bar. American Jesus Olivares, weighing 186 kilograms, lifts 2.5 times his weight in a squat, which is 478 kilograms, equivalent to the weight of a show-jumping horse. Frenchwoman Jade Jacob lifts 188 kilograms, over 3 times her weight of 57 kilograms, which means she could lift a racing motorbike on her shoulders. With the feet stabilizing the upper body on the bench press is like a loaded push-up on your back, targeting shoulders, triceps, pectoralis major and anterior deltoids. In the lightest category, the women's under 47 kilograms, British woman Bobby Butters lifts 100 kilograms, equivalent to the weight of 16 racing bikes. American Jonathan Keiko, in the under 93 kilogram category, lifts 245 kilograms, 2.5 times his own weight, or the equivalent of the weight of a piano. The deadlift targets the abdominal, back and leg muscles, with the hips, quadriceps, hamstrings and adductors, especially in the sumo deadlift. Polish powerlifter Agata Sipko achieved the best performance of all time in the under 69 kilograms category by lifting 248 kilograms, which is 3.6 times her own weight, the equivalent of a pack of 3 rugby sevens players. In the men's under 74 kilogram category, New Zealander Timothy Monegatti deadlifts 331 kilograms, which is 4.5 times his weight, and the equivalent of 36 water packs. Powerlifting is an individual sport that is worked on in a community. The quintessential sport of self-improvement and becoming the best version of yourself.
The bench press is the second movement performed in a powerlifting competition. It's a movement that mainly uses upper body strength. A slight back arch is authorized and allows for a stronger and healthier shoulder positioning. Laying down on the bench, the athlete has to create points of contact between his head, shoulder, glutes, and the bench. His feet has to lay flat on the ground, with the heels in the contact with the floor. Once that position is locked, the central referee gives the start command. The lifter lowers the bar until it touches his chest. The lower underside of both of his elbow joints have to be at level or below the top surface of each shoulder joint. He then has to stabilize the bar for the referee to give him the press command. The lifter has to push the bar back up until the complete extension of his elbows. The central referee gives the rack command and the lift is completed.
There are 4 main reasons to have a no lift on that movement. First, if you're not able to fully extend your elbows at the beginning and at the end of the movement. Second, if you don't touch the chest with the bar, or if your elbows don't go at level or below the top of your shoulder joint. Third, if you're not able to maintain all points of contact with the bench, knowing the head, the shoulders, and the butt. Fourth, if the lift isn't completed in a single upward movement.
And just like that, we are back in action here at the 2026 European Open Classic Powerlifting Championships live from St. Julian's, Malta. This is the 84s and the under 120s, and it is time for bench press. But a quick recap of squat collecting bronze. The Ukrainian Lyudmila Bishok with 217.5 with that same best attempt but lighter on body weight, the Swedish Agnes Rudin. And the favorite of the day, enforcing dominance, squatted 225 through squat gold. A quick glance at the openers. They're going to be ranging from 102.5 to 120. Back-to-back Danish to open the round. First one out, Katja Jorgensen, 102.5. No changes of openers. Everyone is sticking to their original game plan.
Perhaps it feels a little too risky to make those changes now with that big total coming from the B group.
All 3 commands given and received: start, press, and rack. During the bench press event, the chief referee dictates the rhythm of the movement. You don't really want to do anything unless the chief ref says so. And in an easy manner, she receives 3 white lights. She's on the board. Now to the other Danish, Regitze letting 105.
I think it's 5 kilos below her personal best. And it is very comfortable. And a good lift, 3 white lights.
Great display of technique. We move on to Agnes Rudin, Sweden, 110. Just 5 kg shy of her PB bench. Fresh off a new personal best squat of 217.5. Looking strong on the day. This is what moving up from the 76s to the 84 does to your bench and your squat.
And
So-
it's comfortable.
Yeah, solid opener, 3 white lights. And as we've alluded to earlier, she weighted in the lightest of the bunch, 78.9. Still has some time and some kilos to build up into the class.
Yeah, I was going to say, imagine how much of a threat she'll be, even more so when she fills it out.
Scary sights. Now Christina Rakowska, Czechia, opening at 110. PB bench and Czech record of 116. Three white lights, a good lift. It is now Lyudmila Bishuk from Ukraine's turn to open, 112.5. Not as aggressive of an opener compared to a squat.
Still a little bit slow and shaky, but a good lift, and she continued to be able to put the kilos onto her squats. Let's see if that's the same case with her bench.
Yeah, it looked a little shaky on the way up. And 3 more bench openers to go. And Kristen shares the opener of Lyudmila, 112.5. But she has a higher top end, 125.5 being her PB bench. Oh, that's very segmented on the way up from Kristen. 3 white lights, not the best way to start your bench press event. She's had strong momentum coming out of the squat with that 225 of hers, but yeah, that's not the best start to her bench. Next up, Emilie Mouchet, France, fresh off a PB squat of 210, opening at 117.5. Reasonably light. Had to switch from sinking to soft touching. She's now in the middle of the two. I think this opener just to test the ruling of her new bench.
It'll be interesting to see how she's able to adapt here on the day, how this moves. Still looks very strong.
3 white lights, she's on the board. She keeps that rib cage very high up. It's use of leg drive, but I don't see any upper body thrust.
No, and I think she should be fine if she stays that way.
The final opener, Alison O'Reilly, the Irish, opening with 120. As announced by you just 3 minutes ago, a very strong contender for bench press gold.
Absolutely, and not out the hat for overall podium as well, but certainly a bench press gold. Strong contender. There's a good lift, 3 white lights, a strong opening attempt from O'Reilly. O'Reilly weighed in at 84 kilos on the dot.
And as it stands, it's still a deep group member that holds on to bench press gold. Hieronymus determined with 120. Told you, she's a troublemaker. We enter the second round with Katja Jorgensen, Denmark, 110, jump of 7.5. Could be a big jump.
Oh, and it just seemed to not move off her chest there.
7.5 is a huge jump. That was 7% onto an opener. Completely lost position at the bottom, was unable to push.
Not many places you can go from there, unfortunately.
Birgitte letting Denmark 112.5. That same jump of 7.5, but this one is a bit more worrying to me. This is above her register PB. We're hoping for a different outcome for the other Danish.
And it is a different outcome. 3 white lights, a good lift.
Yeah, of course, that was much better than her teammate. But I think 2.5 is the way to go. Agnes Rudin, Sweden, 115, jump of 5 to match her PB.
And she is looking so strong today.
Yeah, her squat benefited nicely from 3 more kgs of body weight. How about the bench press?
Two to 1, a good lift. She does get a depth call from the center referee, which I don't believe we saw on that opening attempt.
What is our chief ref looking at in terms of elbow depth, Amelia?
So we're looking for the elbow joint to be in line with the mid of the shoulder joint, and it looks like she's in a fine position there to me.
I'd say it's right about on the limit, especially that left side. I think it's going to pass. Jury's satisfied with it. We move on to Kristina Rakowska, Czechia. 117.5 from 110 straight to a half kg personal best. Out of the 2 lifters that took in 7.5 kg jump, 1 missed, 1 hit. Which way is this one going to go? The right way, I suppose.
And again, 2 to 1, a good lift. Another depth call there from the center referee, so have a glance at that on the replay. Again, looking for those elbows to be in line or below the middle of the shoulder joint. And she's a little wonky, but I don't think that should be too much of an issue.
Yeah, that right one is very much on the fence. The left one's fine. Lyudmila Bishok, same second attempt, 117.5, but a smaller jump of 5 for the Ukrainian. That's provisional bench press bronze.
And that is a tough fight, but yeah, we were a little worried that Hopner was a bit shaky, and is that reflective of that?
Yeah, I think there's a slight chance she gets it in the 3rd round if she can maintain the correct bar path, which I don't think she did here, but it's gonna be top end anyways. And it plays with your mental too. When you miss that second, you doubt yourself afterwards. 117.5 for Kristen Thorsdottir, Iceland. Jump of 5.
Wow.
And the favorite of the day misses her second bench.
And I don't think it's going to be hard really for her to beat that B group total currently in prognosis. You know, even without that, she's got 552.5 as a total. The one she's trying to reach is 565, but it seems like perhaps she is feeling the pressure.
Yep, new cards being dealt as we speak. Emilie Mouchet jumping 7.5 from 117.5 to 125. We're entering challenging weights with a new technique of hers, but she needs to make that happen. Even more of an aggressive leg drive. 2 to 1, a good lift. Yellows coming in from the left-hand side.
Yeah, you do worry about that a little bit when you see such aggressive leg drive. And let's see if she kept the glutes on the bench.
Well, I don't think she did. That's pretty clear to see on the replay. Immediate jury overruled. No lift and troubles for the French camp and Émilie Mouchet. In the meantime, Alison O'Reilly is setting up for 125. That'll be a great option on bench press gold if she hits when Émilie Mouchet missed. So Passionimos from the B group. Yeah, that's super nice. And it still looks comfortable for Alison. 3 white lights, provisional bench press gold. It looks like Émilie Mouchet and Team France have opted to retake 125. They are not willing to risk it. So as of right now, Alison O'Reilly is leading the bench press event with 125, trailed by Hieronymus from the B group and Émilie Mouchet with 117.5. And we're starting the third round with a retake. Katja Jorgensen retaking 110.
Yeah, we saw a lot of misses. 4 out of 8 there, 50% missing their second attempts.
It looks different, but it don't look different enough. No lift, 1 for 3 in the bench press event for Team Denmark.
Yeah, lots of kilos to be missed out on here from those 4 girls if they're unable to pick it up here in their third.
It gets a letting Denmark, 117.5, jump of 5 for a PB of that same amount, and provisional, a bench press bronze. Was not forecasted to be able to play for a bench press medal, but with 2 of the favorites for that missing, the door's wide open.
That is a huge fight, but just 5 kilos a little ambitious, I think.
Great job on our refs and the spotters to let her fight for so long. The bar never dipped, but it never went up either. No lift for the 2 Danish. Now to the Swedish Agnes Rudin, 117.5 for another PB attempt and a shot at a bench press medal. She keeps on pushing a bit down up, and it's not going to go through. No lift for Team Sweden. So 2 for 3. She walks away with 217.5 and 115. Now Lyudmila Bishok, Ukraine, 117.5. Another one of those retakes from the second round. In her case, it looked like a miss on strength.
Yeah, the opener already a little bit tough. They opted for a 5 kilo jump, and let's hope there is something she can change here. Wow, and there was. And it is a good lift. 3 white lights, what a turnaround.
Yeah, I told you she had a chance if she maintained the correct bar path, which she did. 3 white lights, that's provisional, a bench press bronze. third retake of that round. Kristin Thorsdottir missing, I would say surprisingly missing, 117.5.
Yeah, and is that the pressure getting to her today? And look, she manages to get it up this time round.
That's going to be 3 white lights. Champions adapt, champions overcome. She's still forecasted first in the class. 3 more bench presses to go, all for medals. 120 for Kristina Rakowska. The Czech jumping 2.5 to extend her PB and to guarantee herself bench press bronze.
And still it seems kilos left to spare, and it is a good live. She takes bench press bronze.
Now to go from 5th to 1st in the bench press event, Émilie Mouchet, France, retaking 125. Strength is there. She needs to maintain all points of contact. It's finding that right balance in between leg drive and maintaining all points of contact. Do not nerf you too much so you do not leg drive, but don't be too aggressive with it.
No, there we go. It certainly looked better from here, but again, the same referee giving her the same call. So let's have a look at that in the replay.
Was that movement or the glutes leaving the bench? Oh, difficult call to make. I think there might have been contact all throughout the lift. Char is satisfied with it. We move on to Alison O'Reilly, who will get the final say as an opportunity to drop the hammer with 130 kilos to go from 2nd to 1st in the bench press events of the under 84s. Something she's already done in competition. Very doable for gold. Looks like you do know your powerlifting, Emilia. 3 white lights and bench press goal for Alison O'Reilly.
Yeah, great to see her walk away with that. I'm sure that's what she had her eyes on as one of the things to take away from today.
So a quick recap of the bench press medal. She holds on from the B group. Anna Hieronymus, the German, with 120 gets bench press bronze. With 125, silver medalist of the bench press event is Émilie Mouchet from France. And the gold medalist with 130 kilos is Alison O'Reilly, the Irish. A quick glance at the subtotals for this class. It is Mouchet in 3rd, Bishok in 2nd, and leading the charge, Thorsdottir with 342.5, the favorite center ground.
We head immediately through to the bench press for the 120s, and we can see the running order here. Again, a huge range of benches. By the 2nd round, they'll all be into the 200s, but a huge opening attempt there at 242.5. Bo Sekhanovsky from Israel opening at 195. Walked away with squat gold with a big squat of 365.
Nice and smooth. 3 white lights.
Does he have perhaps an outside shot of pushing on those top 3?
I think he can rely on someone to miss, but it is bound to happen in such a tight battle.
And someone who hasn't missed yet, had a phenomenal squat session. Abdulmajid Suleiman from Great Britain, 197.5, has a personal best of 220 kilos. Let's see how this opening attempt moves for Mo.
I'd say it moved comfortably.
And he's on the board. 3 white lights, a good lift.
Not much more you can ask out of an opener, really. Technique's on point, and it looked easy.
Tuomas Hautala from Finland, opening on 205 kilos, 20 kilos below his personal best. Had a bit of a lighter squat session compared to what his top end is, so hopefully, by the looks of things, bench seems to be in a round about the right place. And it's 2-1, a good lift. He does get a yellow from the center referee for skipping a command. And the jury has overruled it on an account of that, so an easy enough fix, but now the question of going up or staying the same. Christoph Benz Budai from Hungary got that one squat in on the board. Hopefully a different story for bench, opening 10 kilos below his personal best here with 210.
Takes a bit of time for him to receive that star command. I'm a bit unsure as to why.
And 2-1, a good lift. He does get a yellow from the side referee. Let's look at the replay, because yellow could be for a missed command and it can be for lifting. But yeah, if you look at his heel there, it does seem like it's not flat on the ground.
Apparently it is enough for the jury members to be satisfied with the lift.
Antoine de Rodin from France, 210 kilos.
As fast on the way up as on the way down. 3 white lights for Antoine's opener. This is about as long of a range of motion as you're gonna see.
Victor Vasquez Carrillo, 217.5. Pretty close to his personal best of 225. And 2-1, a good lift. Another lifter getting a yellow on that far side. So if we see that from the side angle here.
Leg drive, I think it's more likely for it to be the glutes. I think there's still a bit of contact.
They certainly are discussing it, but it seems like they're not in agreement, so it should stand as a good lift. Taras Melnichuk now opening at 230, 5 kilos below his best. Oh, and the jury has overruled it, so managed to swing the opinion of the last juror there. So
That was a long discussion.
It was, so it's a no lift now for Vasquez Carrillo. Taras Melnichuk again opening close to that top end. See how this moves. It looks pretty comfortable for him, and it is a good lift. 3 white lights. Certainly more comfortable than his squat opener, where he made a big jump from. Our final opening attempt, Jonah Weindijk from Germany, 242.5, and I'd be pretty surprised if this wasn't good enough to already secure him the bench press gold or near around that. Personal best of 253, which is the European Open bench press record. And it is a good lift, blue white lights.
Just for reference, the world record belongs to Devin Williams in the under 120s. It is 265.5. I think it might be a bit of a stretch to see that today, but he's looking super strong. He's going to make a push for his own record.
And holding on to bronze in the B group, we have Pola in silver already, Melnichuk from Ukraine, and Weindijk, of course, like I said, straight into that gold position. Straight into the second round of bench press. Bo Sekundovsky from Israel, 205, just 2.5 kilos below his personal best.
Three white lights, 2 for 2, successful 10 kg jump.
Abdulmajid Suleiman, Great Britain, taking a 10 kilo jump to 207.5. So not looking to end up near his top end bench, but looking to pick up as many kilos as he can today, heading into that deadlift where he has a huge advantage. It's a lovely second attempt.
Yeah, Abdulmajid still looking strong. 5 for 5 so far.
Tuomas Hautala from Finland missed his opening attempt and has chosen to go up 5 kilos now to 210. Just jumped the command. Easy enough fix to make here.
This time he waited for sure. How about the lights for Tuomas? Oh wait, he's on the board.
.5 kilos will be loaded for the next 3 lifters, a very popular second attempt, first of which from Hungary, Christoph Benz Budai, taking a 12.5 kilo jump here.
Yeah, like in the squat, not impacted by an injury or whatever. He's looking strong, ready to break his personal best by 2.5. The strength is there. How about the lights? They're all white, no yellows this time. Perfect second attempt, new personal best.
Anton de Rodin, France, 222.5. 12.5 kilo jump and very close to his personal best of 227.5. And talking of deadlifters, has a huge deadlift personal best of 381. So a very well-rounded athlete.
Solid second bench press attempt. 3 white lights. Do we match the personal best of 227 or do we go for 230? I'm guessing option 2, but I'm not sure. Does he want to risk it? Or does he feel like he needs it? Probably.
Victor Vasquez Carrillo from Spain, 222.5. Again, missed that opening attempt. He's chosen to go up anyway, and he knows that he's pushing for the podium position, so we'll need those extra kilos.
Glutes will need to stay planted this time. Don't leave it up to that third attempt. Much stickier already.
Ooh, and it's still a no lift. He gets yellows from the center and side referee. Have a look at that again here. And it's for moving the position of the bar and thrusting after the command. And that is part of that new rule, or re-established rule.
It didn't look that different from his opener. And it seemed to have gotten yellows for the glutes. Now we're talking about upper body thrust. He might be in trouble.
Taras Melnichuk from Ukraine, 235, a 5 kilo jump to match his personal best. And we said he was close on his opening attempt, just taking an 11 kilo jump here. Jonah Weinsieg from Germany looking already for a European bench press record, 253.5, to further extend his own record by half a kilo, landing him 13 kilos off of the world record.
Shaky at the bottom, but it goes up quite quickly. How about the lights for the European record of Jonah?
And it is a good lift, 3 white lights and a new European record. And hey, that chip may be pretty handy moving forwards.
Do you think the world record is within the realm of possibilities?
We'll have to wait and see what they put on. It'll be a big ask, but if anybody can today, it certainly is only going to be him as we head into that third and final round. And kicking us off, Bo Sekhanovsky from Israel, 212.5 on the bar, 7.5 kilo jump for a new personal best.
Just could not transition to over his shoulders, unable to push through, no lift.
Abdulmajid Suleiman from Great Britain, 215 kilos on the bar, a 7.5 kilo jump. Just getting him ready there.
He made it look effortless. 3 white lights, 6 for 6 for Abdulmajid.
Yeah, a very similar story to his final squat, and he's not wanting to empty the tank before he knows he has to put something mean on for that final pull. Thomas Hautala from Finland, 215, a 5 kilo jump from his second. Little tough towards lockout, but he manages to fight through that. And it is a good lift, 3 white lights after a rocky start to bench press.
Amelia, our next attempt is pivotal, one that decides if we will continue on with a 5-way battle or only a 4-way battle at the top.
You're absolutely right. This is so crucial, not just for that fight overall, but to stay in the competition and to be able to post a total at all. Victor Vasquez Carrillo from Spain looking to retake to 22.5. At first called for glutes lifting, then for the secondary sink on his bench press. Let's see if he can't correct that now, and it's going to be tough because this is a near top end bench for him.
No thrust and glutes planted on the bench to save himself, Victor.
Oh no, and that is Vasquez Carrillo out of the competition, and that is the risk you run when you miss your opening attempt to go up near your top end, and it's such a shame to see.
And this is why, in most cases, you go for the retake. Lessons to be learned.
And the race becomes that much smaller with Vasquez out of the running now. Christoph Benz Budai from Hungary, 230, looking to move into bronze position on the bench press for the time being, with the Roden to follow.
Not able to squat to the best of his abilities, but is able to secure a massive personal best of 7.5 in the bench press event. That must feel good.
Three benches remaining here, and all pivotal. Antoine de Roden looking to move into bench press bronze and pick up 7.5 extra kilos, heading into that big deadlift battle for the title. A great final bench from de Roden, and a good lift. 3 white lights, moves into bench press bronze and picks up those pivotal kilos moving forward into deadlift.
Yeah, PB squat, PB bench, that sets him up nicely for a solid total in the deadlift that's coming.
Taras Melnichuk from Ukraine looking to take another 5 kilo jump here for a personal best. Already has secured the bench press silver, but these extra 5 kilos, much like Antoine, will be pivotal in that overall fight, particularly with Suleiman and now Antoine going 3 for 3 in bench.
And Amelia, we thought he'd be the one to chase Antoine and Abdul-Majid, but it's looking like the other way around. He's the one being chased, forecasted in the lead of the 120s.
And it's going to be one of our favorite types of battles, the one that comes down to the final deadlift of the day. And looking to extend his own European record, already extended on that second attempt, a further few kilos here. 258 is just a laughable amount of weight here. very close to that 265.5 world record. Jonah Weindiek from Germany, 258.
And with Vaca Vasquez out of the race, he steps up right to the plate. He says, boys, I'm here. I'm here to compete. I'm here to push you guys. I'm a real title contender.
Yeah, and if he gets this, he's only separated behind Suleiman by 2 kilos. It's a big if, but it looks like he was able to answer. It's a good lift, secures the European record, and on prognosis now sitting in bronze. Actually, currently ahead of the Roden, but we know that the Roden has that huge pull on him where Weindiek does not. And a conclusion here as it stands in bench bronze, the Roden from France, in silver, Melnichuk from Ukraine, and with a new European record, Weindiek from Germany in bench press gold. We're going to head into a break now before deadlifts and the summary of the 120s and the 84s.
The deadlift is the last movement of the powerlifting competition. On that movement, the lifter's whole body is used and put to the test. The athlete approaches the bar once the central referee calls bar loaded. He then has 1 minute to start the lift. In the conventional or sumo position, the athlete has to pull the barbell until his shoulders, hips, and knees are fully locked. Once that position is assumed by the lifter, the central referee will give the down command. The bar has to be lowered to the ground without the lifter being allowed to drop it until it touches the floor, which completes the lift. At the end of deadlift, the powerlifting total is made, which determines the winner and final placings. There are 4 main mistakes to avoid. First, not locking your shoulders, hips, or knees at the end of the movement. Second, not completing the lift with a single upward bar movement. Third, completing the lift hitching at the legs in order to allow you to do so. Fourth, dropping the bar after the central referee down command.
Ladies and gentlemen, your favorite show is on. Do not blink. It is time for deadlifts here in St. Julian's, Malta for the 2026 European Open Classic Powerlifting Championships. The ending of the 84s and the under 120s. Look at the range of openers from 195 to 215. I'd like to remind you that early on from the B group, Hieronymus, the German, total 565. She's the one to beat first if they want to be on the podium, and then they're going to be battling it out together. We still think Thorsdottir from Iceland is the favorite, right behind her. Everyone's pushing Bishop, Mouche, Rudin or O'Reilly. Who's going to end up on the podium, Emilia? No one knows.
No, and the lifter from earlier really does have such a strong chance of being on that podium, which is just insane.
I mean, she PR'd her total by 50 kilos.
Incredible.
First lifted out will be the Swedish Agnes Rudin for 195. We've had a lot of final placings determined by the second pools. I'm not expecting this weight class to follow that same ruling. I think it's going to go differently. I think everyone's going to need a third pool if they want to finish where they belong. Pretty comfortable first pool. However, 2-1, a blue coming in from the right hand side. I didn't pick up on any downwards movement, so surely that could be for supporting on the thighs. Not clear to see, at least on that angle. So she's on the board, she solidifies a total. Now it is Alison O'Reilly, Island 195, the gold medalist of the bench press event. Strong chances at a podium, especially when her deadlift opener moves like that. 3 white lights. In the 200s we go with 6 of our openers, first of which is Kristina Rakowska, Czechia.
Yeah, and we're going to end in a place where none of these ladies are not in the 200s, which is absolutely insane.
So the first ball, 3 white lights. In the exact same opening attempt for the Ukrainian Lyudmila Pishok. Squat at 217.5, bench 117.5.
Squat and bench open is a little tough. Let's hope deadlift isn't the case, and it doesn't look like it is.
3 white lights, she secures a total. She was nominated with 535, which is what she's already secured with that first pool.
Seems like progress across the board for these 84s.
We've added the yellows to the bar. It is for Emilie Mouchet, France 205. This is for 540.
It seems like they've changed her opener as well there to 205. Not sure where it was sat before, but perhaps some gameplay from Team France.
Her typical setup. Nothing's changed. It's just you and the bar. Easy opener, 3 white lights, JTB as trainer would say. Three more openers to go. 207.5 for Katja Jorgensen, Denmark. Hasn't had the best French event. Only scored the opener of 102.5. Went with too big of a jump and failed twice.
A slow but steady deadlift. Her personal best 230, so you'd hope that's just more like her style than anything else, but her face coming off of it perhaps reflects it was a little tough.
Yeah, hopefully they're not too aggressive with the jump once again. Penultimate opener, Kristen Thorsdottir, 210 kgs for provisional second position, right behind Hieronymus. But this one would secure a World Masters 1 total record. Masters 1 being from 40 years old to 49. And the veteran showing the youngsters how it's done. 3 white lights, she secures a world record. So with that, she stands strong at 552.5 over Mouchet and Bischock. 12.5 below Hieronymus from the B group. The German troublemaker. Final opener, Regitze Letting, Denmark, 215 kilos. Register PB, 230.5, Danish record. Is she good for more today? She's going to need at least 242.5 if she wants gold.
And it's very comfortable and a good lift. Yeah, I think 240 would do it. I think she's just a little bit lighter than the German lifter.
Yeah, I think you're right actually. She's in the 82s and the two lifters on 240 are in the 83s. So we're done with the openers. Standings in the class: third Mouchet, second Thorsdottir, first Hieronymus. Standings in the deadlift: Rosa Erimo third, Chirkishvili second, Hieronymus first.
The bar is loaded for Agnes. Come in.
Agnes already coming up for a second deadlift. Jump of 12.5 from 195 to 207.5. Pace setter to see if she's good for a personal best on the day. She's going to need one if she wants to stand on the podium.
Slow but steady. Somewhat we used to seeing in that conventional pull. It's a good lift.
Yeah, 3 white lights, that's provisional third. But she's the one opening the round. She's to be surpassed by multiple lifters. Same second attempt, 207.5 for the Irish Alison O'Reilly. Much closer to our top end of 212.5.
This would already match her nominated total, but it is such a dogfight here.
somewhat slow off the ground, but still a very reasonable second. 3 white lights. She still has a shot at a podium.
225 kilos for her second deadlift, and this will be a new personal best attempt.
Now 2 attempts at 212.5. One for Kristina Rakowska, the second one for Lyudmila Bishok. Czechia first, then Ukraine. This one's for provisional 6th position in the class. These are the deadlifts that are going to surpass most of the lifters of the B group.
Certainly slowed down in there, but
Yeah, shaky start, scrappy lockout, but a secured second. 3 white lights.
and a new personal best.
As announced, same second attempt for Lyudmila Bishok, Ukraine, but this one's for provisional podium. A jump of 12 that would jump her from 7th to 3rd position.
That is a good lift, 3 white lights.
Difficult to read how much she has left in the tank, but as of right now, she's on the podium. But to push her out of said podium, Émilie Mouchet, France, 217.5, jump of 12.5, just 2.5 below her PB deadlift in competition.
Also puts her in a great spot to chase that big total that was set earlier today, which is not a position we often see lifters having to do.
That same setup of hers, repeating what has worked in training and at Junior Worlds. Now is not the time to change your routine, Emilie. White lights, provisional 2nd position over Thoris Dothiel, who's yet to pull her 2nd, and right below Hieronymus from the B group. You would think that she's safe on the podium, but she is not by any means, at least not yet. 3 more pulls to go in the 2nd round. This one's for Katja Jorgensen, Denmark, 317.5, jump of 10.
We know her top end at some point has been 230. The opener was slow, but not slow enough for extra 10. Wow, and she manages to keep that going. From the outside looks like a tough lift, but again, perhaps just her style.
And I mean, her grip does not seem to be an issue, so if she can pull that slowly, you might as well add some more kilos on that bar. Next up, Kristin Thorisdottir to rewrite history once again, to push that World's Masters 1 record even further out, and to make a push for the European Masters 1 deadlift record. It is 225.
She is looking straight through those M1 records and has her eyes on the prize that she wants today, which is the European title.
This one's to surpass Hieronymus. Three white lights, European Deadlift Masters 1 record and World Masters 1 total record. And we won't have a member of the B group on the highest step of the podium, but Hieronymus is still in 2nd overall.
Yeah, and there's really Not many lifters who are looking to push that. It might be a case where that's where she ends up.
Yep. Final deadlift of the second round. Regitze letting Denmark 227.5. Jump of 12.5. How does that look? Provisional deadlift bronze. Crazy to say, she's closing the round, but it's only provisional deadlift bronze. Yep, there's a lot more on that deadlift. There's a whole lot more. 3 white lights, and that closes out the round. The deadlift standings, the Danish you just saw with 227.5 is in provisional bronze, but provisional silver and gold are 2 attempts at 240 kilos. The Georgian Chirikishvili in silver, and the German Anna Hieronymus with 240 still holds on. Subtotals 552 for Emilie Mouchet, 565 for Hieronymus, and 567.5 for Thorisdottir. Hieronymus holds on to that second position. Can Mouchet or Bishok make a push? Alison O'Reilly, final deadlift, 215 for the Irish for 547.5, 5th position in the class. She locks out a PB of 2.5, and she's rewarded 3 white lights. What a day she's had.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's a PB total, and it would have been enough for bronze overall on nominations, and that put her into 5th for the time being. And it looks like what France are trying to do is let Rudin and Bajczuk pull first, and if she needs to defend that podium position, she will, but if she has the chance to push for the silver, she'll do that.
Kristina Rukowska to go from 7th to 6th is going to be attempting 217.5, a PB of 5 kgs in the deadlift event. One she's going to have to work for. Ever so close, but the grip failed on the left hand side. Heartbreaking. No personal best in the deadlift, but still a very strong day from the Czech. 2 attempts at 220 lined up for us. It is Agnes Rudin and Lyudmila Bishok going at it once again. This is one massive jump for Agnes. The Swedish jumping 12.5 to try and make a push for the podium from 6th to 3rd with a PB deadlift of 5.
Wow, look at that effort from Rudin. It's a huge jump, but she makes it work.
Oh my days, 3 white lights, she's done it. Mouchet, for the time being, is out the podium. Rudin is on. So it's still Thorisdottir first, Hieronymus second, Rudin third, Mouchet fourth, Bishok fifth. Lyudmila Bishok is now on the platform for 220 to try and retake that 3rd position to surpass Rudin and Mouchet. Jump of 7.5 needed. It's going to be a big ask. Is it there on the day for the Ukrainian?
Wow, another great final pull. Is the position good enough?
2-1, a good lift. 1 blue for supporting on the thighs. I think the side angle is going to tell us a lot as to what to expect. It's shaky. Is it supporting? Yes, it is. Jury's overruled. No podium for Team Ukraine. 4 more deadlifts to go. This one's for Team France. 222.5. A PB is needed to step onto the podium.
And what it means with that Rudin getting her final pull is that Mouchet doesn't have the luxury of to pull for silver. silver's already taken. This would be for the bronze.
I mean, that would already be a PB total for Emilie Mouchet. A chance at a podium. She has her destiny into his own hands. She needs to put up a fight. She needs to pull long and strong. Come on up, Emilie. She cannot lock it out. Emilie Mouchet is out of podium contention. Still some solid team points for Team France, but I think it's not going to be enough to surpass Team Netherlands. They have Marie-Josée Van Daal, Blund Dekkers, Kelly Soudanis. That's one strong team.
Yeah, Betty Abora.
Betty Abora
huge.
too. Oh, what a team. 3 more deadlifts to go, and in the 230s we go. Katja Jorgensen, Denmark, jumping 12.5 to try and match her PB and to try and collect deadlift bronze. And this one is unfortunately stuck to the ground. But I mean, when you go from pulling conventional to try and pull sumo your third, it's bound to happen.
Yeah, very, very few athletes can pull that feat off.
Two more attempts to go. And we already know that our new European champion is going to be Kristin Thorsdottir, the Icelandic lifter, going for 235. Jump of 10, PB attempt of 5 to push further for that World Masters 1 record in the deadlift event. The World Masters 1 record total is already hers, but to push it even further, 577.5 is at stake here. Personal best of 7. Doesn't pass the knees. She still walks away champion. She'll be reigning over Europe in 2026 and has wrote history with a new record in the Masters 1. What a champion.
Absolutely, and she knew the bar had been set for her already, and she met and surpassed it.
Final pull for the women's. Birgitte Letting, Denmark, 240 kilos to go from 3rd to 1st position in the deadlift event. She has body weight advantage. We could possibly have a podium with only 240s, with the women separated on body weight. What a stacked class of 84s. Jump of 12.5, PB of 9.5 needed for deadlift gold. Come on up, Birgitte.
Wow, that is such a strong pull from Letting.
3 white lights. And just like yesterday with Regan, on the final pull, deadlift gold goes to Denmark. Deadlift seminars held in Denmark, maybe?
It seems it might have to.
What a finish. Deadlift standings. Bronze medalist Chirikishvili with 240 kilos, slightly lighter. Same best attempt. Anna Hieronymus from the B group is your silver medalist. And deadlift gold goes to Denmark and Birgitte Letting. The final placings, the Swedish over Emilie Mouchet is your bronze medalist with 552. With 565 it is Anna Hieronymus from the B group, and your European champion is Kristin Thorsdottir with 567.5.
Now into the 120s, and we can see the running order as it stands now. A huge range of opening deadlifts. 175 from Badai to 340 from a couple of different lifters here. Christoph Benz Badai, 175 I think for this perhaps token deadlift.
Yeah, pretty sure. And Victor Vasquez, after bombing out, has lowered his opener. Antoine de Ronen has bumped his by 100. and Christophe secures 3 white lights. He'll have a total.
Now we're setting up for Leona Fischig from Germany. 305 kilos opener.
And it's so tight at the top here with Vasquez out. New names emerge in the fight for that podium. Van Dijk with a new European bench press record of 258 puts his name right up there at the top. On prognosis now in third, but with the smallest deadlift of those top contenders. 305 for his opening attempt to secure that European record as well.
Three white lights. Does he seem strong enough in the deadlift event to make a push for that gold overall?
I have to see if he can get the gap there, but it is so close. And like I said, the men he is fighting against have monstrous pulls on them. Bo Sekhanovsky from Israel. 320 kilos for his opening pull. Nice easy opener, and it is a good lift, secures his total. Currently just floating off of that podium fight as it stands.
Yeah, nominated 6th, but he's forecasted 5th now, with Victor Vasquez unfortunately bombing out in the bench press event.
And as it stands, only 10 kilos on prognosis behind the Rodin, but we know that he has a very high top end on that deadlift. Victor Vasquez Carrillo from Spain coming out for 330. As you said, seems to have bumped his opener after missing out on bench press and falling out of the competition.
Keeping your end in the game after that is difficult. But nonetheless, a solid opener from him. 3 white lights.
Still heading into deadlifts nominated in first position, Taras Melnichuk from Ukraine, 330. The top end of 355 is his personal best. Looking very, very strong today.
Yeah, one of our favorites secures a total 3 white lights.
And it feels like a little bit since we've seen him on the international platform have a clean record on a day, go 9 for 9, and he's certainly much more of a threat when that is the case.
He stands strong at 925 when he was nominated with 932.5. He's going to break that by the second round.
Abdulmajid Suleiman from Great Britain, 335. Personal best deadlift of 382.5.
I was wondering whether he pulled sumo or conventional. It's looking like a sumo opener.
And
Easy
2 to
opener.
1, a good lift. Centre referee not super happy with his lockout position, but let's have a look at that on the replay.
Similar to Yusuf El Adlali's deadlift in the B group, and it did not pass. So I can understand why it read. They are still discussing it though.
Antoine de Rodin, France, 340 kilos, and looks like he's bumped up his opening deadlift.
Yeah.
Strategy we see sometimes from Team France.
Bumped it up by 10. It makes easy work of it. 3 white lights.
And can afford to make a big jump there, also with a personal best in the 380s. our final opening attempt, Tuomas Hautala from Finland. A third athlete in this flight with a personal best in the 380s, 340 for his opening attempt here. And as expected, very comfortable. 3 white lights, a good lift.
This battle is shaping up nicely, Amelia.
And heading into the second round of deadlifts, medals still held on to from B group athletes, Salin in bronze, La Greca in silver, and Dew from Denmark as well in gold. Subject to change now as we head through to that second round of deadlifts, where the fight for the overall title really begins, as we have a quick glance at the current standings. And a lot of names in that hat, Alex.
Yeah, De Roden fourth, Wande third, Suleiman second, Milnichuk first.
And if second attempts are successful for all of those lifters, yeah, Melnichuk will be still leading into that final round, followed by Suleiman and De Roden then pulling ahead of Weindeek. Like we said, those slightly larger jumps certainly going to help him as we come through into these deadlifts, but these are going to be some huge totals already. If that second round is successful, we are well above nominated totals for all of these gentlemen.
Yeah, forecasted to pull last is Antoine de Roden, but will he be strong enough to really get the final say is the question.
He has the pull and Suleiman has the experience.
Very true.
And honestly, at the top end, where we've seen them both strong and healthy, a very similar number at that top end deadlift. We load the bar now to 325 for Jonah Weindeek from Germany.
That jump of 20 does not secure himself on the podium yet. He'll need another pull. He's looking good, but he's not looking good for a whole lot more. 3 white lights.
Yeah, a good question is how much more, because the thing is that if again that second round is successful, puts him 2 kilos behind De Roden, who has made a huge jump. And how close to De Roden's top end is that compared to Weindeek's? That's going to be an interesting thing to look at.
Regardless, he's going to have to force another pull out of the podium contenders.
345 kilos, a 25 kilo jump for Bo Sekhanovsky, and for the time being does pull him onto podium, but like we said, this is going to jump around so much in the next 10 minutes. Still looking really solid with the addition of those extra kilos and a good lift. Victor Vasquez Carrillo from Spain, 350, 5 kilos below his personal best. Unfortunately can't fight for position overall.
Brazil can play for a deadlift medal. This one's provisional deadlift bronze. It's going to be a tough ask to keep it with those big boys over him. But still, one more thing to play for. Three white lights. And just like Jonah, he seems close to a stop hand, but not there yet. Maybe another 5, 7.5, something. I think he'll just load whatever he needs to play for deadlift bronze.
Taras Melnichuk from Ukraine, 350, a 20-kilo jump here, landing him just below his personal best, and this will pull him back into pole position overall, heading into the third and final round. Still looking really solid, and I think he knows that at the top based off the face he pulled.
Yeah, that's a comfortable pole position. Slams the weight down. This makes for a deficit deadlift for the next lifters. These guys are deadlifting mammoth amount of weight. 3 more pulls to go, 360, 370 and 372.
And only in that second round, it is a scary thought where we may end up in a few minutes' time. Abdulmajid Suleiman from Great Britain, 360, a 25-kilo jump, and this will pull him into the silver position in both deadlift and total for the time being, heading into the third round.
Did receive a red from the front last time around. They're going to be paying close attention to his lockout.
And it doesn't look better, but if it's just the same, it should be okay.
Same exact ruling.
2-1, a good lift. Yeah, still getting called for that insufficient lockout from the center referee, and the jury are looking over it.
The thing is, he has such massive shoulders. It can look poor from the front, but according to the new rule book, the shoulders only need to be behind the imaginary projection of the bar, which seems to be the case when you look at it from the sides.
And it seems like one jury member was very keen to turn that over, but 2 jury members pretty happy with it, and it has to be unanimous. Tuomas Hautala from Finland, 370 kilos, taking a huge 30-kilo jump here. Certainly looking for that deadlift gold today.
White lights, provisional 6th position in provisional deadlift gold.
Antoine de Rodin, France, 372.5, a 32.5-kilo jump, looking to pull himself back into a podium position and deadlift gold. Less than 10 kilos off his best ever deadlift. Wow. Similar to Mo there, 2-1, a good lift. Not happy with the lockout from that center referee.
I mean, at this point, get rid of any delta exercise. Looks fine on the replay for Brutus.
Ju from the B group still holding on to the bronze in body weight, in front in silver Hautala, and in gold on deadlift de Rodin. As we head into the final round, we can see how close it is at the top there. Melnichuk still holding on to the pole position. Suleiman and de Rodin not so far behind, and just 2 kilos behind de Rodin. Vindeek is looking to slip in there. We head into the final round, and we will not see Budai come out, so we do have an extra second here to have a look at the nominated third attempts as they come in. Some huge ones there. The Rodins put in 387.5, and I'm sure we'll see some jump around, but that is a huge final pull. 2 in the 380s, and 1 in the 370s, 2 in the 360s. These are gargantuan. I cannot believe how much weight we're about to see lifted, and it is going to come down to that final pull with 4 lifters really fighting for pole positions.
Also keep in mind that those deadlifts are subject to change. You can change them twice until the chief ref said that the bar is loaded for you. For instance, some of those pulls I'm not really buying, like that 365 for Victor Vasquez. I think it seems a bit far, but maybe it's what he thinks he needs for deadlift gold. I think Mo can surely change around his final deadlift if Taras hits or misses. So everything is subject to change. These coaching staff gonna have to be proactive.
Yeah, absolutely. And he isn't at a loss by doing that now. He's not in the competition for overall, so maybe one last stab at that. But Jonah Weindijk from Germany now, 332.5, and he's pushing for that overall silver to put the pressure on Suleiman De Roden and Melnichuk to not slip up too much, because he'll be right there for that hardware.
Looks like he's done his part.
And it is a good lift, 3 white lights. That chip certainly came in helpful as he pulls into silver, half a kilo ahead of Suleiman.
Do you think that changes the way Team France is viewing that match? They're out of the podium. Seems like they want to play for first overall.
And I think Melnichuk, Suleiman and De Roden all want to play for first overall. So the question is it a push for gold? Only one of the 3 of them can get it, or do we play it safer for podium? I don't think any of them are looking to play safe today though. Bo Sekhanovsky from Israel, 355, a 10 kilo jump.
Can he secure that final pull? He works for it. Is that locked down sufficiently according to our refs on the platform? 2-1, a good lift, 1 red from the front. Maybe the most understandable one since the beginning of the flight.
I'm more worried about this one than I was of others I've seen.
Yeah, knees seem to be on the verge of unlocking.
But jury seem happy enough with that, which is great to see. Paris Melnichuk now, and this is a big one, 362.5 to try and make the lead undeniable, and too hard for Suleiman and De Roden to push. It's slow, but it's moving, and he manages to lock it out. Is it good enough? It is 3 white lights, undeniable, secures the lead, and that really puts the pressure on Suleiman and De Roden to put a huge final push in, and that might just be too much of an ask for De Roden. He would have to pull just shy of 400 kilos.
Progress is made. He was nominated with 932.5. He now stands strong at 957.5. Do coaches adapt? Are we going to see attempt changes from Abdul Mojid and Antoine De Roden?
Victor Vasquez Carrillo, 365 in an attempt for a provisional deadlift bronze.
Hail Mary pool. It's just not there on the day. The only thing he could have went for was deadlift bronze. It's just not there, unfortunately. An attempt change has came in, Amelia. Who's it for?
Keeping our eyes glued to the board, it looks like it's for Mo. And it looks like he's looking to secure the bronze instead of push for the gold ahead of Melnichuk. Maybe just too big of a mountain to climb with the jump he would have to take. So as it stands, it looks like actually Melnichuk is somewhat uncatchable. Like I said, it'd be a real Hail Mary from Team France as well.
Now if Mo hits, do you think they try and secure third or second?
This is to at the very least secure the bronze and to move himself into silver behind Melnichuk. 367.5 for Abdelmajid Suleiman from Great Britain. It's a weight that he's done many times before. well. 3 white lights, a good lift, the best one so far in terms of standards according to the referees. Moves himself into the silver overall, and that gives Team France a chance to make the decision whether to try and knock him out of position or not.
Yeah, apparently they're shooting for second. They're not putting in a time change. But a strong first international as an under 120 for Suleiman. 9:45 is very, very strong.
2 deadlifts remaining, and the first of which we have Thomas Hautala from Finland, 375 in an attempt for provisional deadlift gold. Already has deadlift silver secured. Wow.
What a finish. 3 white lights. Strong final pull. Provisional deadlift gold. Might have had a bit of wiggle room too. Insane pulling power. And now the great ending we were hoping for. It's going to come down to the final pull, Emilia.
And it is quite the pull at that. Looking for deadlift gold, but more importantly to pull him onto the podium. He's thrown caution to the wind. He doesn't just want a podium position, he wants the silver. If he gets this, he knocks Suleiman down to bronze. And he takes the silver, and it looks like that is the case. The risk wasn't that high with a deadlift like that. 387.5 for Antoine de Rodin, your silver medalist. Wow.
Yeah, with authority, he takes deadlift gold with 1 strong final pull. Vice champion for first as a member of the open team. Solid outing from Antoine de Rodin, Brutus le Robuste en chair et en muscle.
And in deadlift bronze from Great Britain with 367.5, we have Abdelmajid Suleiman. In silver from Finland, Thomas Hautala with 375, and of course with 387.5 from France. Deadlift gold with Antoine de Rodin. And overall with quite a battle. Look how close it is with that top 5. Suleiman from Great Britain in bronze overall with 9:45. In silver from France with that great final pull, Antoine de Rodin with 9:47.5. And your new European champion from Ukraine, we have Taras Melnichuk with 9:57.5. And what a battle that was right until the very end. We're going to head now to the medal ceremony where we will see them so well-deserved crowning of the new European champion.
Powerlifting at this point in my life means so much and so much more than I ever thought that it could.
It's really cool. We interact really well, and there's a lot of love.
Especially as a woman, you know, you feel very capable and strong. The years before this was, you know, a male-dominant sport. Females have come into the sport, and, you know, we're showing that we can be really strong and capable too. So that's a really good feeling.
It's not only something that I love to do as a sport, but it's so many friends, I've seen so many things, and I've had so many opportunities that I never ever dreamed I could have.
It's really cool to come to people from France or Italy or Germany or Japan, and we all have this commonality of wanting to be strong and better powerlifters, and it kind of brings us together.
Everything has to match, especially we, as physios or as coaches, we try to maximize what the athletes can perform in this time frame, and we try to give our best.
So they can do their best.
It's really cool that now I have friends in a community across the world, opposed to just like within my city. And like we get along great. I message them all the time on like Instagram or whatever the case may be, just like check in. the silver lining to it all. It teaches you to continue to work. It teaches you that there's still stuff to be done. It pushes you to be better, to do more. Sometimes if you're at the top, you can get complacent. And that's a wrap. Let's go see the competition.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the medal ceremony here at the 2026 European Open Classic Powerlifting Championships in St. Julian's, Malta. We've just witnessed a fantastic session in both the 84s and the under 120s. Following the protocol, the 84s are going to enter the platform behind our technical controller. Their presence here is a synonym and a testament to their greatness and to their elite level of lifting. This is why each and every member of the flight will receive a participation award from our referees. Here particularly Mr. Bjorn Astad, President of the European Powerlifting Federation, and Xavier de Putorac, one of the IPFTC members and the Treasurer of the European Powerlifting Federation. In powerlifting, the awards ceremony goes like this. Everyone receives their participation award, then we move on to the lifts in itself. First squat, then the bench press, deadlifts, and finally the placings and the class. So as announced, it is now time for the squat podium in the under 84s. Your bronze medalist with a personal best attempt of 217.5 from the Ukraine, Lyudmila Bishok. Super stacked podium as your silver medalist has the same best attempt but is lighter on body weight, so it's the Swedish Anis Rudin that gets squat silver. And squat gold goes to Iceland and Kristin Thorsdottir with 225, a new Masters 1 record. The Masters 1 being the 40 to 49 years old, a veteran competing in the Opens. Into the bench press medals now. The bench press bronze goes to Germany and Anna Hieronymus with 120 kilos out of the B group. She's made some stellar improvements competing in the morning sessions. This is not the last time you'll see her on the podium. With 125, bench press silver goes to France and Émilie Mouchet. Had to switch from sinking to soft touching according to the new rules. Still managed a solid 125. Bench press gold goes to Ireland and Alison O'Reilly with 130 kilos. A 5 kg spread on bench press is something. A well-deserved gold medal.
Thank you very much, ladies. Fantastic job.
Time for the deadlift medals now. Also a member of the B group, it is the Georgian Nino Cherkishvili that gets deadlift bronze. You'll see that all of the lifters on the deadlift podium have scored 240 kilos, so they're all separated by body weight, which is rare and insane. It showcases their elite level. As promised, Anna Hieronymus is back on the podium. She's the silver medalist of the deadlift event. And the lightest of the bunch with the biggest deadlift, 240 kilos for Regitze Letting. The Danish came in strong with their deadlifts this championship.
Thank you very much.
And we've waited long enough. It is time for the final placings in the under 84s. Bronze medalist overall with 552.5, thanks to our final ball, Agnes Rudin from Sweden. The silver medal and the title of vice champion will go to Germany and Anna Hieronymus out of the B group. She improved on her total by 50 kilos. A well-deserved silver medal. And your new European Classic champion in the under 84s, the Icelandic Kristin Thorisdottir with 567.5. A true champion, well-rounded athlete, well-deserved victory. And as stated by the protocol, it is now time for the national anthem of Iceland. What a beautiful moment. And for 2026, the title is going back to Iceland.
You may step back and follow the technical controller off the platform. Please give the
And one final round, a lap around the platform for our lifters. They've been great, and we can't wait to see more of them. Next stop, the World Championship in July in Druskininkai, Lithuania. Next up, the under 120s. It was a humongous battle for the title in this weight class. 5-way battle in between France, Ukraine, Germany, Spain, and Great Britain. Just like for the women's in the under 84s, each and every athlete will walk away with a participation medal, attesting that they are elite level athletes and that they were here at the European Championship. The pinnacle of the sport on European soil. And once again, awards given out by Mr. Bjorn Astad, the president of the European Powerlifting Federation, and Xavier de Putorac, the treasurer of the federation. We will follow the same exact order. First off, the squat, then bench, into deadlifts, and finally the placings in the class. With 355 kilos, it's the Ukrainian Taras Melnichuk who gets squat bronze.
Squat bronze goes to Taras Melnichuk from Ukraine.
Maybe you did not realize it at the time, but yes, he is the bronze medalist of the squat event. Squat silver will go to Abdulmajid Suleiman from Great Britain with 362.5 PB squat of 2.5, and the fastest squat we've ever seen out of him. He'll be a great 120 as he develops in the class. And after a solid squat event, Baruch Sekhenovsky will get squat gold with 365.
Thank you, guys. Bench press.
Next up, the bench press event. Bronze medalist out of France, Antoine de Rodin with 230 kilos, a new personal best of 2.5. And keep in mind that when you are an elite level athlete, improving by 2.5 is no small feat. And Taras Melnichuk had to do more than that to get that bench press silver medal with 240 kilos. And with a new European record, the German Jonah Wendig with 258 is your gold medalist of the bench press event.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys.
Next up, the deadlift placing with a personal best attempt of 367.5. The British Abdulmajid Suleiman gets deadlift bronze. Deadlift silver goes to Finland and Tuomas Otala with 375, and he might have had more in the tank. And deadlift gold with 387.5 goes to France and Antoine de Rodin, new personal best of 6.5, new French record. That's one solid podium of deadlifters. Time for the final placings in the class. Bronze medalist of the 120s for his first outing on the international platform in this weight class, Abdulmajid Suleiman with 945. Vice champion for his first outing as a representative of the French Open team, Antoine de Rodin, 945. 147.5. Vice champion for your first outing is something.
Ladies and gentlemen,
And your new 2026 European Open Classic Powerlifting Champion of the under 120s out of Ukraine, Taras Melnichuk with 957.5. Stellar improvements being made by the Ukrainian.
heavyweight champion, Taras Ukraine. 957.5 kilos.
Just like for the women's, everyone is going to rise for the national anthem of Ukraine. And this has been the medal ceremony for the under 120s. Great sportsmanship from these guys. They are the best in Europe. This has been one of the most fascinating flights so far. Great display of elite levels of strength and sportsmanship from both the 84s and the under 120s. Thanks for tuning in with us and making powerlifting such a great sport. We hope to see you back in the near future. This has been the 2026 European Open Classic Powerlifting Championships.